tie is fixed.
And we're live.
Hello, everybody. Robert here from European Watch Company. Thank you for joining me. Today, I have an absolutely bonkers Take 5 for you. We have had some truly exceptional pieces coming through the shop this past week, and I have 5 here on the table, 4 of which are already online, 1 of which we showed last night on our live. We got a lot of hits off of this watch, and so we decided we would bring it back again and show it to you this morning. So while you're here, please do like and subscribe to the channel. If you hit the little bell icon there, you'll get notifications for when we go live for this and for our horological happy hours, as well as when our other videos like the Gone in 60 Seconds get posted. So I thought we would dig in and get started with, we talked a lot about AP last night, so I'm going to start with the AP. And I have notes today because these watches are wild. They all do so many different things, and I wanted to make sure I got everything right. So this is an AP Concept split-second chronograph. This is in titanium in 43 millimeters. We have, again, the split-second chronograph. We have a GMT function, and we have a big date. And this is just an absolutely incredible watch. Like I was talking about last night, these are big watches. This is 43 millimeters, and it's obviously not super skinny, but the case shape on these is like nothing else on the market. I love the way it has a Royal Oak features that we all want. It has the octagonal bezel, it has the screws, it has the integrated lugs, but it also has this kind of like almost like organic form to it where it's not as hard-edged as the Royal Oak, the standard Royal Oaks, and so it really becomes its own thing. Even on my wrist, which is 7 inches, this thing fits beautifully. It goes all the way to the edge, but it curves down, it doesn't hang over. Skeleton dial, absolutely incredible watchmaking. See if we can show that off. Yeah, this thing is like bananas. We have an automatic rotor on the back, not much to see there, but a very cool watch with a lot of functionality and a lot of watchmaking under the hood. Some very serious movement making here done by the House of Renault and Poppy, which also makes all of those crazy RM calibers as well. So this is the AP Concept split-second chronograph. Then, to change gears completely, I move to Viani halter and the Trio Grand Date. We see when people talk about halter, obviously the #1 thing most people want to talk about is the Antiqua, which is an absolutely incredible timepiece. I take nothing away from that. But if I was getting a halter, this is what I would buy. I find this so incredibly cool. His concept when he made this was to basically make a wearable gold brick. And that's what he did. So this is like, it feels like about a pound of solid white gold here that you can strap on your wrist. And then we have Viani's usual kind of steampunk touches here, where we have all the portholes with the gold screws securing them. All of these are like individually made parts. There's different size screws, and it's really like, it's a work of art, and it's a cool conversation piece. It's just, I mean, this is incredible to me. We have our time up here, we have running seconds down here, and we have the big date in 2 separate windows. Can we zoom a touch on this one? I don't want to get too close because all the reflections are freaking out the camera, but that is just stellar. Again, this is a white gold example. We've got the blued hands on here, which are really nice. And these are exceptionally rare. In this combination of white gold with the silver dials, there are 4 pieces in existence in this combination. Mystery rotor on the back, pretty wild. The Viani halter Trio Grand Date. I love it. All right, moving on from there, let's go to this guy. This is the MB&F Legacy Machine Sequential Evo Double Chronograph. The Legacy Machine are the more traditional watches from MB&F, so we have a pretty standard round profile here. And then with the Evos, we get his sport watch take on this. So we have a screw-down crown, we have the integrated rubber strap, And for a watch that is, I forgot to write down the size on this one. I think it's 44 or 45. Again, similar to the AP, the case geometry and the way the strap integrates, it fits really well. Like, I think even if you're, have a smaller wrist, this is still going to fit and work for you. It's tall with the domed crystal, but it's not going to get in the way of like fitting under a cuff. Obviously, we need the domed crystal because as with most of Max's pieces, we have that balance wheel that's floating way up over the watch, which is pretty incredible. Let me wind this up so we can get it running. 44. So I was right in there. Good. And this is wild because obviously we have our floating balance there at the top. And then our dial for reading the time is down here. And it's tiny because the main feature of this watch is this mirrored chronograph setup. So you have two completely independent chronographs on either side. This is like 3 watches all in one. And we have a start, stop, and a reset for each one. And then we have what they are calling the twinverter here at 9 o'clock, which if I hit this button, I run both of them simultaneously. And I can control both chronos simultaneously from the side there, which is pretty amazing. And then they each have their individual controls as well. An absolutely incredible watch. And on this one, it's not all on the front. There's actually quite something to see on the back as well. Some really beautiful bridge work. Amazing finishing. Like, this is an incredible watch. This is, like, I don't even know what else to say about some of these guys I have today because we're looking at what I consider to be some of the absolute high points of modern watchmaking. All right, then I am going to go to Grubel 4C. And what I have here today is the GMT Balancier Convex. So the Convex is this case shape that they came out with. Similar to the Evo, this is like their take on a sport watch. So this is in full titanium. And not only do we have a crazy curve to the case, but we have it to the crystal as well. And you can kind of see those distortions as I play with that there. This is one of the Balancier series, so this is not a tourbillon. This has a standard balance wheel, but it is kiltered at a 30-degree angle down here on the dial. There we go. Give this some power so it gets going. And our hours and minutes are over here around the rotating globe by those 2 hands that will wander around the dial. We have a GMT indicator on here, obviously. And let me see if I can move the hands around so we can see the globe rotate. Yeah, get everything in motion. And I think one of the really fun things about Grubel is that when you're wearing this watch, it's not like you have to take it off to admire all the movement and the machinery going on. We have a lot of really amazing elements right on the front of the watch that you can enjoy while you're wearing it. Cities on the back for the world time there. And again, a large watch that fits well. This is 46.5 millimeters, but because there's no lugs, it stays on the wrist and it doesn't overhang. The curve of the case hugs it really tight. And it's, again, just, it's watchmaking on a level that like we don't get to see often here. So I thought I had to show it off. The finishing on the dial, the finishing on the movement parts. I really appreciate their philosophy to watchmaking, which is that they are just going to make the most incredible machines they can, regardless of the price of it, regardless of how large it gets. It's artistry in every sense of the word, and I love it. I am here for it. So that's the Grubel 4C GMT Balancier Convex, and then we are finishing with the Lang & Son Tourbograph. This one in platinum. This, they made 51 pieces, and this is also an absolutely incredible amount of complications in one watch here. So, why am I out of focus? There we are. We have a tourbillon at 6 o'clock. We have a split-second chronograph. So we have our split here at the 10 o'clock position. And then on the back, you can't really see it, but inside is a fuse and chain for the drive mechanism. So this is very old pocket watchy kind of stuff where when you wind this watch, you're wrapping basically a very tiny miniature bicycle chain around a snail cam, And the idea with that was to better distribute the power throughout the length of your mainspring. Whether or not that actually works, I'm not sure, but I can tell you that the prowess involved in making that means I don't care. Similar to the tourbillon. Is it more accurate than any standard watch? Probably not. But look at that. You get to stare at this guy all day long as it rotates around 60 degrees. And I love that you get the traditional Portland Marie layout with this, where it looks like the old school ones. It's obviously a little bit bigger than those, but with the tourbillon, the twin subs, we get the 1815 dial with the blued hands. We never see these. Until now, we've seen one Tourbograph, and so now we are seeing another for the first time since then. This one having the optional upgrade of the added, my tag is in the way, sorry, the added platinum deploy from Longa. This is a heavy watch because we have a fully platinum case, which is fairly substantial and thick. We have a movement that is made up of a lot of German silver, which is also a dense metal, and we have a German silver dial on the front. So a pretty impressive watch all around. And again, a true masterpiece of, like, this is interesting because it's modern watchmaking, but it's old school. Everything in here, like doing a tourbillon, doing a fusee chain, doing the split-second chronograph. It's not like any of the other stuff on the table where, like, we've got kind of new takes on things. This is very old school, but also it feels very modern and very relevant at the same time, which is not an easy feat. So this is the Longa Tourbograph in platinum. So I think that was 5 of the coolest watches I may have ever seen, let alone just this week. And so I wanted to show them off, highlight them. The 4 of these are live. The Tourbograph is not live yet as of today, which is November 21st? 22nd. 22nd. I haven't written the date today, so I forgot. But that's where we're at. Thank you all for joining me. I appreciate it as always. Please do like and subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you next time.